What's happening? What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Gangster Chronicles podcast. It's your boy Bigg Steele along with
Jill.
And we got a family in the building tonight. The homie RAIDED, who just dropped that new album, A Sin in Heaven.
Sin in Heaven.
Came out on the 23rd.
It's coming out on the, came out on the 23rd.
Coming out on the 23rd.
Yeah.
23rd, that's this
Friday.
That is Friday.
Yeah.
Coming out on the 23rd.
Yeah.
Man, Sin in Heaven, tell us about it, man.
Sin in Heaven. Man, this album represents a lot of shit. I feel like, first of all, just being from the West Coast, I wanted to go home with it. So sonically, it went home. It's Westy. You got that bounce to it that we fuck, you know, and it's in that part. And then I just was, in terms of flows, I went crazy on the flows on there, the ink pen, all the elements of what made hip hop so dope from the beginning. Stories that then took me under, like, you know what that did to me? You know what you did to me, man? You know what you did to me?
Rare.
That song was so, you know, it's a lineage that we have and a pedigree, a standard for classic, real West Coast shit. And so I kind of wanted those elements to be present in this album in a way that could be received in the modern way, but that has its origins and its roots in classic West Coast production, classic West Coast execution and elements. And that's what I think I pulled that off. I really feel that way.
What's the hardest song on there?
Oh, I don't know.
You gotta have one of these.
You think 2400 the rest? Damn.
What would they say, 2400?
Yeah, the first one I called 2400.
My nigga said all of them. You know what I'm saying? That's how you gotta put your foot in some shit.
You feel me?
Fuck that. All my shit is hard.
I feel that way.
Yeah.
I really feel that way.
Yeah.
I felt like 2400 was one of them songs that was the declaration. I think an album should be organized in a way where, like, first songs in hip-hop history have been a thing. You know what I mean?
I know you was on that motherfucker Beast and what?
I really was.
Man, can I hear that first verse? When I start up, you remember it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me a little acapella.
So the first verse on the album, the first 8 bars, I say, if you doper than me, you say so, faithful. I'm wearing all black in this bitch. It's hard to describe the way I survived but was able to rise like the past don't exist. I'm Marty McFly in the DeLorean looking for Doc. Aftermath in this bitch. I was ruthless and facing death row and I beat it like sentence. I'm lit like I'm matching this bitch. Like, that's the first thing I'll say. And it's like they got the execution table, the electric chair go off, and I die. So it's really the Death Row Records logo. I'm rapping as if I'm this nigga sitting in this chair. Yeah. And that's what them first 8 bars is doing. But Marty McFly was looking for Doc to help him go back to the past and the future. And I'm saying I'm Marty McFly looking for Doc on some, let's go back to ruthless, let's get that Death Row energy, let's get that. So I'm looking for Doc. Aftermath in this bitch, I was ruthless, facing death row, and I beat it like sentence, and now I'm lit like a match in this bitch, because the electric chair went on, and the top of the match is on fire, you feel me? So yeah, it's meaty. Off the bat, I'm chirping on there. The establishment was just to say, we not fucking around, it's gonna be bars. This is dopeness. The first 2 songs kind of got that aim, and then I start cracking on the government and the criminal justice system like the next 2 songs. So I established we dope as fuck, and this is the mission, and then I start tripping.
Yeah, you know, I had to get that, man, because I got the homie in the back with the beat. He gonna slide a beat up under that later on, and that's gonna be the official remix. Well, you know, I'm like,
I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
You know, you talk about the criminal justice system, man. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, and I know you in town, and everybody will ask you about this, but I'm taking a different angle. Right. You pretty much impacted the whole future of hip-hop. Like, you set the precedents, like the shit that Young Thug is going through now, because they pretty much sanctioned the jail lyrics based from a rap song.
They did. And the cover. You know, it's interesting that they said, okay, this is the murder weapon on the album cover, but you can't do forensics on a picture. So they never found a murder weapon. The reality is they never found a murder weapon. But we 30-something years after this incident, 32 years, and people still think the murder weapon was on the cover or say that to me. And it's just one of them things. How can they establish that fact if they never found it and they never did forensics, right? And the other thing is they chopped my song up So the song is called Still Shooting. I actually sampled Ultraviolet Dreams by Cypress Hill on there. Ironically, I sampled that and I put some Isaac Hayes inside of there. You know what I mean? And that's that first song on Psychoactive, and it's called Still Shooting. The intro is called The Murder, but the media started referring to the song as The Murder and editing my lyrics so that they can make it say what they wanted to say. The AP picked that up, and instead of hip-hop journalism kicking in and starting to pick that apart and tell a story as me being one of their own, they just picked up the AP story and repeated a sensationalized version of the story that they told.
So that was really like a wig shot. So you was doing it like from the beginning because the court of public opinion, the motherfucker.
It is, man. And we were at a time in the country where, you know, you got Mike Tyson with the rape case that they was trying to get him for. You got OJ going to trial. It just was a time. We had just had the riots. You know what I mean? The officers went to trial. You know what I mean? All of that thing, the Rodney King shit. So this is a build-up, and the Ice-T with the Time Warner shit. So we just in a time where hip-hop was under attack from the government, really. It's always been the government. Even if it wasn't hip-hop, it's just always been them trying to tear us up. You know what I mean? But in this specific instance, that was that environmental atmosphere and the culture, and they was just trying to smack shit, and I ended up being somebody that they did that to.
Yeah, them was critical times, man, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all them situations, they would definitely try to hold some shit against you then, because niggas was oppressed and didn't give a fuck around then, so it was all kind of shit out.
Mm-hmm. It was real cliche back then. There was a lot going on. You was your parental. You popped it off. You got it first. You was one of the first ones I had to get the parental discretion, parental advisement. Sticking.
Oh
yeah.
Your album, yeah.
He was at the forefront.
I had a double sticker on my album. I was the first nigga to have a double sticker. Even though they put the parental sticker on there, they put a sticker on there that said whatever I was talking about was my views and not the views of Sony Music.
They put a disclaimer on your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Left side line.
you know what though? What was crazy?
Yeah, because niggas was getting banned at that time. Shit.
What was crazy?
We were getting on radio play, videos. Niggas was steamrolling over CDs and shit. So they was trying to shut us down and shit.
Yeah, was part of the era that set it off though, man, because I remember like, cause that's when you start getting the other people from other cities. Like you had the Ghetto Boys coming up too.
Yeah.
And you had cats like, you know, a little bit later on, Gangster Rap. I remember when somebody had listened to this, somebody killed somebody, listening to this nigga's music and stuff happened. They was really trying to stick it to people in hip hop.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah, that was the easy way out. Shit.
yeah, that was one of them.
Motherfucker go to court, you know, little kids and shit, or some motherfucker in Iowa, some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Some stupid shit and go, oh shit, nigga, I was listening to Eiht and them. Nigga, Eiht said niggas to hit the back fence and shoot a nigga and whoop-de-whoop. Ghetto.
It sounds ridiculous as motherfucker when you get
Ghetto.
about.
And nigga Scarface said nigga go do a nigga like this and that. So, nigga, that was dumb as fuck. But they actually was trying to get that shit cracking.
That office sent this man in jail.
But that's the narrative right now though. That's crazy as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember, like, if we go back to NWA getting that letter from the FBI and for fuck the police, and then they start tripping on Luke, so he get banned in the USA. Tipper Gore, I think, and that's where the parental advisory sticker came from. Mm-hmm. And then we end up with, after that, they tripped on the Ghetto Boys, and we end up we said we stopped from that. And then y'all got tripped off.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just kept rolling. And it was lit, though. That was a rebellious time for hip-hop music where you had X-Clan, and that shit was slapping. It's still slapping. Like Brother J was tripping. And then you had Public Enemy was tripping. And WA was pushing the line. CMW was pushing the line. It was, man, it was music. And now it's just... I feel like I would really like us to see a return to that. Well, especially if a youngster can start doing it, that'd be beautiful.
It's starting to get there.
It is. It's a bit of a rebellion going on right now where people want that classic shit.
I think just people just what's been going on basically as far as hip hop concerned, been a negative light shown on hip hop for the last couple of years. A lot of dudes getting killed and a lot of scenarios that basically don't even fit our criteria, but it started shining a heavy negative light. So I know, we put out our shit, to talk about where we came from and how the impressions of growing up in these neighborhoods made us put these records together. But, I think just the blatant violence in hip hop, that came from what we hearing today. You get me? Motherfuckers is like, nigga, they describing the murders, talking about who did the hit, nigga, how we did the hit, where the hit went down. And a lot of hip hop has become that because of the youth. And not to say we wasn't crazy when we was young,
Right.
in my CMW music to drive-by days.
You feel me?
I was 19, 20, nigga tell we shit. Nigga, I'm talking about, nigga, how we coming through and nigga, the hood that took us under, niggas are struggling, so we about to do this, that, and the other.
Growing up in the hood, nigga?
But it was never like a...
mad to some shit. I'm gonna tell you this.
And he cautionary tales, though.
Hell yeah.
They come from an era where he had cautionary tales. Cube had cautionary tales. It was cautionary tales. Slick Rick had cautionary tales. It'd be crazy ass story, but you like, damn, the moral of that story. There was a moral to the story.
Right.
Straight Up Menace it's a full circle. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's a conclusion to that experience. You said, Ice Cube and Mac 10, there's a conclusion to that shit.
Right.
That's what we did. We stopped with the conclusion. It's like ending Scarface where this nigga just up and got all the coke right there. It's like, 5-10 minutes later in the movie, this nigga gets shot 50,000 times.
Exactly.
And dies with a face full of cocaine. That's how this ends. And I feel like the OGs back then was doing that. And then somewhere along the lines, the cautionary tales started getting left out.
Well, you know what started happening, man? Cats really started detailing what they had really going on. They really started putting lyrics like, we just did this and we smoking on this MC Dodo pack. Yeah. It really just started tripping, And
There's some elements of exaggeration. That's it too, though. The nigga, it's shit that was real and it's shit that was WWF. It's always been shit that was real and shit that was WWE. You know what I mean?
Right.
It always was, and it was kamikaze niggas then too. There was niggas going kamikaze back then too. It's just, I think it's worse now because the generation that was supposed to give the game, you saw people join the idiocy or the immaturity is the better word.
Immaturity. Wait, you know what's crazy? Have you ever seen the movie Idiocracy?
I have not.
Idiocracy is this movie that was by Mike Judge. You ever seen it? It was by Mike Judge, the cat that made Beavis and Butthead. And this movie maybe came out like 15, 20 years ago, probably even more. But it shows the world. You know how Netflix looked? That's called over-the-top TV or television. Everything's on top of each other.
Yeah.
The TV was like that. And the people, this dude got frozen and went to the future, woke up like 100 years later. And America was like in some kind of thing. Terry Crews was the president.
Oh, shit.
And he was tripping. And there wasn't no plants grow because these dumb motherfuckers was watering the grass with Gatorade.
Oh.
Gatorade was like the drink, and them people was wearing Crocs in that movie. You know, double-ass shoes people was wearing. Now Crocs, motherfuckers was wearing Crocs on there, and people was just stupid. But it was just like the motherfuckers today. And I said, man, how did this motherfucker guess that 20 years ago motherfuckers was gonna be? Because you know what the top shit is. You know we have these dope discussions. You'll get a few motherfuckers that'll check this out, but if it's some niggas talking about some bullshit around the corner, ocean on a hole, I don't doing this, we don't came in the era to where a bunch of grown men gossip like little hoes.
Yeah, that's a true statement. I think Hollywood has penetrated the depths of hip hop in a way that really was never allowable. And we've allowed people to make music that we never really would have allowed. Niggas used to get beat up for if you was too close, similar to somebody else, the niggas was gonna want to fight about that. if you made a song too similar to a nigga song, or you was too similar to a nigga name, or you tried to do something that wasn't hip hop, you know, KRS-One beat up P and Don and put random niggas up off the stage. Like, nigga, you ain't welcome it. The niggas would be the #1 best rappers alive right now. I mean, the type shit. This is Millie Vanilli would have got away with it right now. You know what I mean? Niggas would have been to make it excuses. Oh, Millie Vanilli made some really good songs.
I think Hollywood then penetrated.
Yep.
Hollywood then penetrated the streets to the aspect of it's hard for niggas to be OG anymore.
Right.
You got niggas who are in our age group in line of who feel like being famous and popularity is more than the code of being just authentic. You get me? Especially if you claim to be one of those dudes. It seems like that narrative has left us. Like, niggas have forgotten, like, those codes. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Hush and don't talk too much. Not flossy and flashy and flamboyant. And niggas didn't want to be seen. You get that?
You said it.
It seems like you got more niggas in the older age group who want more celebrity and fame than trying to just keep the authenticity of being a nigga who's supposed to be a real nigga. How is that is that frowned upon? You get me? Because niggas, I don't know, niggas don't like real niggas today. You know, is it frowned upon to be a real nigga? Is it looked upon by you saying that you were from the streets and you know, abide by a certain code?
Mm-hmm.
Do they frown upon that shit today?
I don't think people frown upon. I just don't think they give a shit. I don't think they care. Like, all that stuff, I think, man, is out the window. Like, even when you start talking about snitch, how many people you don't see snitch and they come right back home and they back on the streets and doing what they do? They going about their business. And it's like, whenever you get, that's why I always...
That depends on where they...
Yeah, but see, I always be quick to tell people, I don't gangbang, right? Yeah, right. But you got a lot of people who ain't from that world that's commenting on it now. That's what him Well, you got a bunch of people that don't know nothing about that. They up there calling people snitches who ain't really snitches, and they doing this. So you got a bunch of square people trying to play in the arena that they don't know nothing about.
And that was like they can't be checked because they behind the computer screen. That's what I mean by the WWF and the WWE commentary, because just hip-hop transition from one to the other, just like the WWF became the WWE. We saw that. I think one of the things culturally, crazy and gangster used to be separated. And you had a crazy nigga, that crazy nigga was going to be, sometimes they get dealt with. That wasn't allowed to exist. And then you got a gangster nigga that wouldn't want that around. Now, the crazy niggas is the niggas with the juice. The crazier you are, the more they celebrate that. And it's like them wasn't ever the niggas that got to run nothing or make decisions. They got euthanized. And so it's different now. It ain't like that no more. And there's an argument that there's superior ways now. We got more conflict resolution, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, to me, I think we might have failed a generation. The fathers were under attack. The reason we failed them is because we was getting our ass whooped, among other things. And I think a lot of people was locked away who could have had voices. A lot of us ended up being in positions to be servants more so than to be masters, meaning that we're in control of the masters of our own destinies. So we didn't end up with the power structures that we should have by now, where the money that was generated by melanated people within this motherfucking industry was put in a way where the control and the power and the ability to dictate what occurred remained with those of us who were the tastemakers and the curators. So you end up with people who don't really give a fuck about the culture, making decisions that are impactful to the culture. And now it's about pleasing this algorithm more than it's about pleasing the statutes what we're supposed to do and what we're not supposed to do. The tenets have been sacrificed and replaced by likes and clicks, and that's really what it is.
Still, as a podcaster, just as a person who deals with, you know, the podcast world and creating content and all that, why do you think snitching was made? Like, as the content, like we gotta like, because that was some shit. Like, even if I don't know, it was like a hidden thing. Like, niggas didn't talk about.
Yeah, it wasn't spoken
If a
about.
nigga went to court and somebody got on the stand, whatever, it wasn't like, oh, these niggas over here gonna talk about it, then we gonna go tell the hood over there, then we gonna go tell the hood over there, then we gonna go tell. It was like, that was like some under the table shit.
Well, why
is it popularized right now?
Yeah, but see, it was a time that you had to be qualified to say somebody was a snitch. You just couldn't go because, you know, what's some snitch to bust your head off.
Yeah, it's a lot of them.
You know?
It's a lot of them. It's levels to that shit. If you have to be able to present evidences and proof. It's the same way in Islam. If you're gonna bring a charge against your brother, it's the same way in the round table discussions within the hood. My neighborhood, we was born from y'all, from Compton Crips, gave birth to my neighborhood in the late 70s, early 80s. One was the ones who came out there. We are Ice Cube, my summer vacation, with the result of that migration that happened, you know what I mean? But you have understanding of how we supposed to conduct ourselves and how we not supposed to conduct ourselves. And so there's ways that you're supposed to go about causing a roundtable discussion, and that's supposed to happen amongst the people who are directly impacted by that. And they got to say, if that person coming from something that cloth, then that's the responsibility of his cloth to handle their business. Everybody want everybody to take their phase. And now you got the gladiator, which to me, it's the Colosseum. We are in Rome, and Caesar is they're sitting in their chairs, and Caesar is Mark Zuckerberg. Caesar is the nigga that owns Spotify. Caesar is, and they got these arenas. Caesar is some of these platforms that don't give a fuck if we live or die. Some of these, you know, it's a lot going on. They want to exploit the culture, and they thumbs up or thumbs down. Do you kill him or do you not kill him? They want blood. They want death and destruction. That's what they're paying to see. And so we haven't all accepted it, but we could watch them. We could watch the results of that. They want to build you up, put you in the Coliseum, release a lion on you, watch you fight that lion to the death, see you die, deify you, put you on a T-shirt, put you on a lunch pail, put you on a motherfucking sticker, put you in a video game, put your music everywhere, and pay your mama 0.05 cents per stream, 1,500 streams to equal one sale. You know what I mean? They want to do us like that. So, yeah, and it's bigger than just even what's going on with the artists themselves. It's a machine, the entire Coliseum, and the people getting thrown out there, motherfuckers who are trying to change their lives. So they willing to fight the lion. They willing to try and do that. But you, as a result of that, you pop smoke. You're PNB Rock. You end up being these kids out here. That other youngster in Florida, we old.
Do niggas be feeling this their responsibility to let you know who snitched or not? Is that the responsibility of the real nigga today? You know,
I think everybody got to decide what is the best thing for their individual experience. I think it's a decision to be made. Am I handling my business in a way that is going in a direction that is most beneficial for my family? And am I in somebody's business and I don't have no business in their business? Because this ain't my business. There's rules that apply to being in somebody's business, just like it's rules to apply if this man did do some bitch ass shit. If he did do that, who's responsible for that? Because that's the first thing you want to know. Because you can't do something to everybody. There's consequences for that. So it's like you got to find out what's what. And then it begs the question, why are you in this person's business?
Or you said earlier, that should be the man that was impacted and his people's responsibility. It don't have nothing to do with you. I was always told it don't have nothing to do with you.
Yeah, but that don't service the Coliseum. The Coliseum want to eat them alive, and they want them to eat each other alive. So
Niggas need those clicks, man.
Yeah, as long as it's them.
It just puzzles me for dudes who consider themselves to be of a certain way of life, or I came from that, or that walk, or that code. It just puzzles me. Everybody wants things. You get me? The codes of the shit I learned is like forgotten about today, because you got dudes who feel like it's my business to let you know that so and so told on a nigga 20 years ago, or so and so told on a nigga 15 years ago, or it's my business to let you know that. It just puzzles me, because I thought that being from, and you know, it could be wrong because of the time and the era of what today is, because of what all this shit is. You getting lights, camera, action. And niggas want to get paid. You get the authenticity of being from the streets has been forgotten, because I can make a check, nigga. You feel me?
Yeah, I
can get followers, I can get clicks and views, and it just puzzles me, because there's certain things that you're supposed to be able to hold true, and especially for a man. I just think, like, niggas just forgotten about that code of what is and what isn't, you know?
Yeah.
If you fall into that lifestyle of having to create content, you get me?
Right.
And like I told you, that shit puzzles me. Like, what do you mean? Create some content. Nigga, we just sit up and talk to the homies and try to have just conversations about shit. We don't sit up and get in a circle on the round table before the show start and go, so what we gonna come up with today?
Right.
It mean, like,
creating content.
That, like, we don't, like, that shit puzzles me, man.
Yeah,
We vibe.
it's on that.
We vibing. Vibing is different than creating content. Vibing and capturing moments is a superior thing. And I think that there was more authenticity in the culture back when we were doing that. We were just catching vibes, and we were spitting about what we was really dealing with. It's just the Hunger Games now. It's all just a reality TV show, and a person get enough popularity to make them a couple bucks. It's a vocational opportunity now to tear somebody down, to be in somebody else's business. And it just was a time in life where that wasn't a permissible thing to do. Everybody comes, used to come. And this is a problem, because motherfuckers is faking where they from. They faking their neighborhoods. They faking that they come from representing something. Like, I got a founding father from Guard Block here, and my baby boy. So we got 3 generations of my neighborhood in this room. You know what I mean? You got motherfuckers that can't tell you a motherfucker 2 years older than them from their neighborhood. Who your big homie? You got a 25-year-old nigga telling my pointing at a nigga that's 28. Like, how long the fuck did y'all exist? Who the fuck is it be? Where you growing state? We can't even find out where these niggas is from, because they not from nothing. And so who can teach nothing to nothing? You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of fake-ass bullshit, or some Hollywood shit. And, I mean, that's okay, but they get carried away with it. Some of them, they getting themselves clapped up and killed over them likes and clicks.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of shit I want to talk to you about. So I'm going to try to breeze through it a little bit. When you was locked up, and then I'm going to get out the locked up phase.
So you
was releasing albums and shit.
On the set. Yeah, I was playing.
All over a phone.
On Billboard charts.
On Billboard charts. And I saw that shit, that tripped me out. I said, man, this nigga's just walking around the streets free. You can't put out an album about this man releasing stuff free as hell. So, you know what I'm saying?
Niggas could end motherfucking CDs away.
I know I know was in jail doing it, man. What possessed you to think that you was gonna be able to get away with that stuff? Like, you did get away with it.
Indeed, I did. I was possessed by, I lived that shit the same way that we talking about. The same way that kid that was in the projects, and I used to crawl out my window and go down the stairs and be down there with the homies. You know, that kid that just wanted the homie to pop his trunk on his 6'4". I remember Tiny from PJs used to come out there to the hood, and Donkey Kong from PJs, all them niggas, Wino from Grape Street. the niggas used to be out there in Sac, and we used to fuck with them niggas. And so I remember niggas that popped the trunk, and all the homies from the block, everybody would be outside, and they'd be slapping Parliament, and niggas just to catch a vibe, and the homies is just spitting. It's hella niggas that could spit. And it would just be, we got the hood raps. When you really from the streets and you really from some shit, like we got hood raps. And I'm like, nigga then rewrote the Gilligan's Island theme. You know what I mean? And nigga then we got all that type of shit when you have history. So I was vibing. And I feel like I lived hip hop. Hip hop was a part of the fabric. It was an attribute of my personality and just a part of the fabric of who I am as a human being. It's being in the house from Midnight Star, Atlantic Star, with you know what I mean? Planet Rock days, The Message, Rappers Delight. I lived it. Here comes Run DMC, here comes LL, here comes Rakim, we Toddy T, nigga, Battle Ram, nigga, here comes 6 in the morning, here comes Colors. Like I remember the stages of that shit, and it's just in my DNA. So if I couldn't have made them songs, I would have wrote them anyway. Because that's what I do. That's like oxygen in me. So I was writing the songs, and then opportunities to record the motherfuckers kept presenting themselves, One of them was because he thought I was dope. He was a fan, and he thought I was too dope to not be doing my thing. Motherfuckers helped me do what I needed to do. So, like, it was a fight against the government. They filed a son of Sam lawsuit, don't even beat that. It got struck down by the Supreme Court. They was big mad. There's no rule. There's no rule against possessing a cell phone in 1999 or 2000. There's no rule against me having the California Code of Regulations hasn't entered that rule into this book yet. So I'm reading the rules and I can see what's not against the rules too. I'm not just looking at what is in the rule book. I'm looking at what isn't.
Right.
So, okay, if I get this DAT recorder in here, they don't got a rule against that. So if they find it sitting there, they can't write me up for nothing. They can't even fuck with me. It's just a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, that recording all of it.
I had all kind of shit in that bitch. Hell yeah, regular.
Yeah. So you just had studio recorders up in the cell, you just busting your shit.
Yeah, man. For a long time, I used to get shit, buy some keyboards and get them in through the music program, put a bunch of shit that I wanted to, get a package delivered and have the motherfucker go bring it to the, you know what I mean? I used to meet a motherfucker in the middle of nowhere in the wilderness, drop off a package for me, I get that motherfucker.
That's some cold ass shit. I just picture a nigga in this cell just up there busting like a motherfucker. Hold up, homie, you watch for the guards to come and shit. Y'all quiet this noise down. I'm about to drop this 16.
Yeah, count time. Let's do it between count time and try to get songs done. I remember in 1998, I was doing my thing on Salinas Valley, AUR, and I got all my recording equipment on Friday. Like I went to breakfast and he go search the cell. When I come back, the cell search was a drop off. So I got the thing, you know what I mean? Boom, locked the door. Friday night, I'm all night between counts, just laying. They get all night. Wake up, do it Saturday. As soon as go about my regular day on Saturday. As soon as they lock that bar at night, I'm recording all night between counts. Get some sleep, wake up, give it back to him on Sunday. Boom, I get back to the streets. And then it's up, we go from there and ended up crashing out. Like, so in it from Friday to Sunday, recorded the entire Unforgiven album, the entire Vengeance Is Mine album, a portion of the Initiation album. In 3 days, I recorded all that. Got it done and got it out and went right outside and got in the wreck. The niggas just out there fighting like a motherfucker.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so like that was the kind of shit I went through. And then them songs ended up being on Unforgiven and hitting the Billboard charts. Some of the shit I gave Sebo, we number 3 on the charts behind Mariah Carey and Brian McKnight for Deadly Game was my song. Actually, me and Cuz was rapping. He was in the tank. So I went in his tank and I'm banging on the door, spitting that song. He spit some songs. But when I spit Deadly Game, he was like, nigga, you gotta give me that. So he started asking me for that in the county jail. Then we got to Tracy. I gave it to him, to everything, taught him every word, all even the grunts. So that was an X-rated song, Giving the Buck. And then that 357 was my song. So I wrote the chorus, I wrote verse 1, I wrote the second chorus, and I wrote half of verse 2, and they moved both to the dorms. His cousin had no time. He had a joint suspension. I had a 186-22 and a 187-8 and the 120 2.5. So I'm on my way to New Folsom. Cuz go to the dorm, and he finished the rhyme. So you could kind of hear what I was doing, and then when he shows up in the second half of the song, you could hear the collaboration. We ended up writing shit together that I used, Street Life. That was Bo rewrote that chorus for me. I was saying it a certain kind of way. He was like, it's better like this, and I thought he was right, so that's the way I recorded it. So it wasn't like I just was writing for Bo. I gave him a lot more shit than he gave me just because I had more shit. But like in terms of what I was writing on and he put his input in, we would rewrite shit and he left with all of that, but he didn't record everything that I gave.
Yeah, Bo a legend. C-Bo a legend for real. So you was in the hood, you was out there destroying and shit and wrecking shit. And now you bumped in the mic, said Singleton?
I bumped in and said Singleton, so my mom went to church, and I had created this little company called 24D Productions because I got the benefit of watching the big homies like this nigga do their thing. So I had that blue tape. That blue tape mattered to me. And so I'm looking at this blue tape and I'm like, damn. So we started, me and the homie Person for Flat Dog, the music Flat Dog Crip Gang is like between the Glen Elders and Oak Park and sit right there. And so the homie came, he went to our continuation school. And his mama used to buy him hella equipment. I didn't know that at the time. We just rapping at lunchtime. And he was like, hey, you really good. He was like, man, lunchtime, pull it. Why don't you come to the house when we finish school, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. So cuz had a van. We jumped in the van. We all rode to his spot. And this nigga got drum machines, records. The walls are just covered in crates, shelves and crates. This nigga got everything. Every sample I needed to do anything forever. That nigga
had all that shit.
It looked like Alchemist Little Rome in there. We was 16, 15 years old at the time. But that's how his mama loved him. She kept him out of trouble. Would let us be in there with that music blasting until 3, 4 in the morning, would never say a word. Because they cared more that they knew where we was than if it was loud. You know, that nigga had beautiful parents. And so we was doing that, get the songs done. So I'm putting these motherfuckers on consignment. And so my mama got my little cover. My cover was drawn by Brother Lynch because I had really just said my name is X-Rated, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have a rap name yet. I was still Lil Slim Dog for 24th Street. They still call me Lil Ray. That wasn't my official name, but I was always with the big homie. So they'd be like, Lil Slim Dog over there. You know what I mean? And I kind of was like busted a line and had X-Rated in it. People started like X-Rated just calling me X-Rated. And Lynch was like, nigga, it can't be R-A-T-E-D. It got to be R-A-I-D-E-D, because he was like, if you ain't no player on no bass shit, you a gangster, nigga. This that gangster shit, R-A-I-D-E-D. So Lynch drew my first logo and drew my first cover. And so my mama had that on a keychain, went to church, and Cedric saw it. It was like, you know X-Rated? And she was like, yeah, it's my son. And he gave her his card. And so I had the mama give me the card. I'm running around. I ain't paying no attention to it. Me and the homies, some shit happened in the South Side, so me and the homies about to go clap some shit up. We get pulled over. This is back when if you in the car and you joyride, you're a joyrider. The nigga that got the pistol got a gun charge, and the nigga that was driving the car got a GTA. And that's kind of how, because we didn't get to go do it yet. They got us on our way to do it. So I get the joyride, and I spend a weekend in the jail. And while I'm in the jail, I run into a homie named Meadowview Blood. He was leaning still. He wasn't really like all the way over there, but he was headed. I could see it going there. But his name is Miko Ewer. He from the South Side. He from 23rd, and I love that nigga. So this is how I meet. I have seen him 50 million times, but I'm in juvenile hall waiting for my mama to get me out on Monday, and this nigga is in juvenile hall because they said he filed the serial number down on his Cougar. This nigga got Cougars, Stangs, Malleys. This nigga, young nigga doing it. So seeing him in juvenile hall, I was like, fuck, this nigga doing the juvenile hall. I thought this nigga was 25, 30 years old. I didn't know this nigga was a kid. He was just a balling young nigga that had a vision and a mission. And so he was like, we was talking and I was spitting some rhyme, and he was like, nigga, you were X-rated? Because niggas didn't know it was me. It was because it was just a picture. It was a drawing. There was no picture of me. Like you said, we were seldom seen. There's very few pictures from me back then. 0 videos and no music videos until 2018 when I came out. So the first music video I ever do, 2.5 million views. You know what I mean? I had never even had a music video. And so, yeah, so I get out of the juvenile hall. He get out. we go about our way, and I finally called a nigga Meek, and I was like, hey, man, I wanted to talk to you about what you were saying. You know, you want to do some management for you, blah, blah, blah. So me and him link up, we roll around, and we pulled up on Cedric. I gave him the card, he had called him and shit, and we pulled up on Cedric, and them niggas agreed that Meek would fund everything, and that Cedric could handle his business. He had the brain power. So Meek was like our Harry O, and Cedric was like our Suge Knight. Okay. And it was kind of like that. So you had Danger Island Productions, was Meek thing, and then Black Market Records they built, that was Cedric's thing, and I had my little 24D Productions thing. That's where Lynch got the EP name from a couple years later. That was the name of my production company that I made up when I was 15 years old as a little rapper.
See, we'll be on breaking stories up.
We'll never later.
Y'all take notes.
Hey, so, yeah, them niggas built. I was the first artist ever on Black Market Records. I say I'm the LL Cool J of Black Market Records. It was the first one they ever released music for. Sacramento had artists prior to me. My big homies, Triple Threat 3, Mike C, the BK, Bruce Knight, and the homie DC Ray. They had a group called Triple Threat 3, and they was more on that, you know, early, almost techno, hip-hop rap, that kind of, you know, the Mantronics type shit.
Definitely.
They was doing that.
That's what we was on.
Yeah, that's what hip-hop was.
That's what would, for us on the West Coast, it was techno out.
And it was fun. Niggas was having fun. And so they had that, and then a cat named Homicide from Oak Park came out, and Black Market had fucked with him a little bit on production, but they wasn't called Black Market. They had a different name. And so they were behind it.
That Homicide, they call me Mr. D. They called me Mr. D.
Yeah.
It's a crazy rip.
Yeah, it was. I was super motivated by Homicide, his presence, and seeing him. It made me feel like I could do it. You know what I mean? And so I started getting cracking. You know, I was influenced by y'all. I was influenced by people like Cypress Hill. I thought Ice Cube was like that nigga, bro. Prime Ice Cube, what they consider Lil Wayne to be, that nigga from straight out of Compton and Easy Does It all the way to Death Certificate. It's like an argument that's the dopest chunk of that top hip hop down there, everything on this gangster shit.
True.
You add in what these niggas is doing.
Yeah, that Death Certificate wasn't no joke.
Yep.
Nah, that was special, man. He was breaking even Kill at Will, The Birth, The Product, Endangered Species, the remix Endangered Species, like that shit was special. And then, like I said, the Hood that took me under, and then the whale sample, nigga, with all of that shit, oh man, that's the goosebumps, nigga. So like, I'm big on the chronological order of hip hop history matters to me, because you can see his influence on people. You could see Cypress Hill influence, Cube's influence, and WA's, Dre's. You could go back far enough to see where this shit came from. And a lot of people wouldn't like that. They don't want to do that. They do that on the East Coast. They preserve their history. But on the West, we so busy tearing each other down that there's no preservation of our dopeness and our roadmap to show the tree that we grew from. Because I'm proud to come from that lineage of what the homies was doing.
Well,
I'm proud of that.
Part of that is because of what you said earlier. We don't get people that's really nice with their shit in position, man. It's always people from outside the culture.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I ain't no knock against no other race of people or nothing else, but it's like on Power 106, they ain't got one black DJ over there. I don't think it's one black show.
Yeah, and there was a time where that would have been considered unacceptable. All we got to do is listen to the track one on America Most Wanted to tell you what time it would have been. That nigga Q was on everybody's ass. Don Cornelius, nigga, that nigga was on the American Bandstand, nigga, anybody. If they was playing with the culture, diluting the culture, they would get called out on it. And that stopped happening because niggas started getting checks. Them checks, niggas sold the culture. Niggas sold the integrity of the culture was bad.
So when you was fucking with CSC and Black Market Records, how many records did you actually drop over there?
Shit. I did Niggas in Black first and then with Tantrum from the Flats, and then Lynch got involved. And then those recordings became Psychoactive, and then Exorcist happened, Billboard. Unforgiven happened, Billboard. My Nefarious Project happened, Billboard. The Seatbelt Till My Casket drops, Billboard. Then that ain't counting 24 Deep, the Season of the Sickness and all that shit. because my Exorcist album was actually called Season of the Sickness. That was what I was going to call it. But nobody believed that I was going to be able to do it. So I'm working on what would become Season of the Sickness, and somewhere over there, they decided that that's what Lynch's album should be called. But that was actually the name of my album that became Exorcist. So I chose the name Exorcist because they utilized Season of the Sickness for Lynch. And so I do Exorcist in all those different projects and just kept it moving, man. I was obsessed and hitting Billboard and the culture paying attention. I didn't get the kind of stories written that I would have liked. They kept repeating that what the AP wrote, lazy reporting. But it was dope that they kept my name alive. And you got Lynch and Bo keeping my name alive.
Man, you know, in sensationalism, like we said earlier, sales like a motherfucker. You know, this dude, man, the rap lyrics, he rapped about a murder. He could be, you know, they pushing that thing. They don't care if it's true or they don't care if it's true or false, as long as people react.
Yeah, they don't care, man. All they want is the outcomes that they want.
So Cedric made some bread over there with y'all,
Yeah, Cedric definitely made some bread. But I feel like everybody made some bread. Everybody made some bread. What we did with it and how we got it and, you know, what our individual deals were, that's a different question. But everybody definitely generated money. Now, you know, I always, if I told Cedric to send me 10 bands, 20 bands, like tonight, I had that shit by Monday. I have it by Monday. Now, still, it was different for me with Cedric Singleton, and that's why there's no record of me saying nothing reckless about him. And I feel like that brother didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Meek didn't know what the fuck he was doing. I definitely know what the fuck I was doing. I just knew I was dope. I wanted to be dope. And I wanted to grow and get better as an MC. But like we was winging it. And so I don't look at that brother like he was being a predatory person on us and shit. I look like he made mistakes that cost him money too. He missed money as well. But like once you know better now, I'm gonna need you to do better. And some people feel like that didn't happen fast enough. But in my case, you know, I was a juvenile when I got arrested. Cedric came up there, told him he was my father and visited me because he was worried they was trying to give me the death penalty. So this nigga's telling him he's my father and was coming to see me and make sure that my spirit was good and that I had some money, I wasn't getting abused. You know, he would go back. I end up in the county jail. Cedric is there. I go to the prison. Cedric used to come in the visitor room, play chess with me 4 or 5 hours at a time. I was a 17-year-old baby. You know, the amount of empathy he had. He never let nobody during interviews. He never let nobody play with me. He always defended what I was doing. And so I happen to love this nigga. I love it. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
That's my pops. I call him Pops. He like my Jay Prince. And he kind of like a Jay Prince to Mozzie. It ain't my place to speak on Mozzie's relationship with Cedric, but I'll say Mozzie has a relationship with Cedric that has prevented us from having issues with each other. Because that's my pops, and that's somebody that assisted Mozzie with doing what he was doing too. But it would break his heart. You know, he was the main one. Like, man, y'all, you know, look at my baby boys, man. You know, the same way I speak of mine. And so I just always kept it. I just kept that relationship.
That's dope.
Where it was just words.
And you know, I had this man got the comedian say his saying. Because I called you the other day, and I said, man, guess what I just saw? It was some dude up in Africa. I'm just flipping through the thing, and it's this African channel or whatever. And I've seen a dude wear hair with the biggest man for the biggest record label in Africa, Black Market Records. And I'm like, somebody don't throw only, you know, say his name. And it's him. Over there in Africa, and they say he got cracking big international African artists.
Oh, yeah, everything. We got a relationship with the president, everything. We could go to Africa and go to safari, be walking around with the lions inside of a resort and just be chilling. If we could get there, that's what's gonna happen. We gonna be having a boss player experience. That nigga's he the dude over there. One of them, he one of the dudes over there. He tell me all the time, man. He send me pictures of murals. He like, you on the wall over here. You with that gun in your head is on the walls out here in Africa. It's like I walk around. It's like it's Tupac on the wall. And so you'll see Kendrick on the wall. You'll see Snoop on the wall. He's like, you on the wall out here. That psychoactive picture on the wall. That used to trip me out.
So if somebody at the show in Africa, send us a picture of that. Let's see if I know they got the homie Eiht somewhere floating out.
He gotta be out there.
The show gotta be on that wall.
A-Wax is on the wall, nigga.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, one thing. Man, you know what? That's dope, man, because you know what I always tell people? You do have the horror stories from back in the day of people doing stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff can be contributed to people being young and not knowing how to manage situations.
Definitely.
We need empathy, man. We gotta operate from empathy, man. I was tripping when I was young. I was pushing the line that was damn near unsustainable. It was inevitable. I was gonna die or go to jail. It was inevitable. That's what that behavior does. And that's what it was for me. And I wasn't the only one. That's what trauma was in this country. It's a lot of conditions that have driven us to just have to survive, fight. And
we all felt that pressure, you know, of growing up in poverty and low income and just trying to survive. We're victims of it. And that's what turned a lot of us into them vicious street characters. You get me? We was influenced by the niggas we saw.
Mm-hmm.
You get me? Like, you know, they had fucking the motherfuckers in your library books, and they taught you that bullshit in class about who's your heroes, and the motherfucker on the horse with the cowboy hat. Martin had a dream, and fucking the lady sat in the back of the bus, refused Rosa Parks and all that. They teach you that shit, but in reality, motherfucker, this nigga's outside shooting every day, selling drugs and shit, and nigga, and I'm one of them. You feel me? So they're trying to teach a nigga some other reality of where I'm at. Nigga, look where the fuck I'm at.
Yeah.
You can't teach me no other reality than what I'm seeing every day. So a lot of us young fall victim to it. And a lot of niggas don't understand. A lot of us was fatherless in the homes and shit.
Yeah.
That is coming up. So,
for real. So the garden block, the Siebel from Garden Block.
I'm sad.
Man, y'all got brother Lakes, y'all had vicious wet calls with the Garden Block.
Exactly.
Y'all got
present.
Y'all got is there some youngsters over there getting busy carrying toys?
Yes. One of them right there.
Is they vicious?
Yeah.
He vicious, he got balls.
Yes, it's a garden block. Our niggas, yeah. Garden Block is famous.
Man, let's say the homies' names, man. You said we got some loyalty up in there. What's the homies?
Yeah, McIntyre. Okay, so my big homie Dooney right here. Mm-hmm. My big homie Dooney he was one of the first ones outside. You know, he from 29th Street. Our area, there's a box that Garden Block sits in. That box is Meadowview Road, Franklin Boulevard, Florin Road, and Freeport Boulevard, and that kind of most of everything in that box, a little bit above Franklin, all of that is considered the gardens, Keyways and Indominus out there. And so our particular section, we got 3 streets, 29th Street, 24th Street, and 21st Street, and we call that 914, 20 gang, Garden Block Cribs, South Side. And out of that, our lineage has produced from Triple Threat 3 brothers, then myself, the first real international individual solo artist, and the one that really brought the attention to the set. Like Psychoactive has Brother Lynch and SIBO on it. It was so early. Psychoactive was so early. SIBO's name is Snowman in the credits. It's only to say SIBO. It say the homie Snowman. And so like my fucking with a psycho chorus, that's SIBO on there. SIBO on every single bitch chorus, talking in the background. That's Buck. He was in the studio with us and shit. I remember that nigga came home from Wire. I'm at the homie AC house playing around on Percy's, Elise's drum machine, and that nigga Bo walked through the door. Homie AC and Black from 29th Street. Bo, the door opened, this nigga got the blue khaki suit on, the Cortez, and then he got the Jerry curl with the lotes everywhere, and he's just beautiful. Fresh out. I'm like 15, because it's probably like 19 or 19, knocking on 20 or something like that, you know? Mm-hmm. And I just remember that it was a dope-ass thing when he came home. And so Bo was just running around and making music. Marv Meds, he was fucking with people in the set like that. Mike Mosley, all of them. He was working with them. Rick Rock had a house on 29th Street.
Like Mosley had that.
Yeah, Mike Mosley was the nigga, and then almost everybody's under them. Studio Tone is the one that was really the dude. The
He
studio
was doing
Tall.
everybody shit too. He was doing 40s and them shit too, wasn't
Yeah, we can't say everybody. He was doing 40 shit. And he was the big homie on them producers. So Studio Tall
40 shit.
was the big homie. And all the other niggas was following Mike Mosley, Sam Bostic, and Rick Rock was all following behind him, young disciples learning their way and getting at that. But that mob funk, that bounce was coming really out of niggas getting the bar what Tom Capone did, and then Mike Mosley, Sam Bostic, and Rick Rock finding their own way.
Well, there's legendary ass production. And Sam Boston, them niggas had slaps.
Super.
That shit was coming out of Sacramento and bleeding everywhere else, not the other way around. Studio Tall had that sound coming out the Bay, and that sound was working, but it was different from what was coming out the other direction. And then that nigga Spice was doing what he was doing. And then you had that nigga Richard Rick. Hitler was a killer. Frank Ward was a Mac. Felix Mitchell sold money, made money in 20G stats. Moses split the sea and King Tut wore gold. And Jesus is the king, so the story is told. But my posse, boom, 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 boom. That nigga has to relax. This is like, I wasn't even in the studio yet. I got the chance to tell Rich that I really was happy that I could tell him, just like you with what that blue tape meant to us. Exactly. Like you niggas, me and Cuz talk about you. I don't know if you know, me and him be on the phone 2-3 hours at a time.
What's his goddamn mouth for shit?
This nigga will be talking about you like, where did this nigga, where you fit in and what you did for the culture. We
put some shit together, putting plays together.
Yeah, runnable.
You know, putting plays together is very, very do. All you gotta do is hit the hole. Or just don't be half stepping, tiptoeing to that motherfucker. Hey, you gotta hit that motherfucker.
Shit, he was a motherfucker like what's that movie? My nigga shot a nigga when he was going through the hole and shit on that movie. Like,
there you go. Yeah, man. It's gonna be a hole right here.
It's just move out the way.
This don't require no effort for Eiht. Nigga, that's Eiht. Eiht gonna open, every door gonna open when Eiht show up. Eiht voice show up. Eiht name show up. It's gonna work because nigga, come on now. Look at what everybody else is doing right now. Niggas out there, niggas outside. Like a MC Eiht. Your brand is so powerful right now in this era. Like that's an ease.
Yeah, you know what I want to ask you though, man? Why is Sacramento music so dark?
I think a lot of that was my fault. When Psychoactive came out and then Exorcist came out, then 24 Deep happened, and then season what became Season of the Sickness happened. That road to success created mimicry. Niggas started mimicking what we was doing, and you know, they felt like that was a lane, and it was dope. There was a pocket to be in. So I came kind of on Unforgiven. I kind of sped the tempo up, and I feel like Lynch on Loaded did Lynch. Like Loaded was really Lynch doing Lynch. We all kind of had each other. We were amalgamation of each other. But when I did Unforgiven, I did Unforgiven. And when Lynch did Loaded, that was Lynch doing Lynch. And then, you know, Bo was enemy of the state, and I was both doing both. So everybody had their own individual approach to the pocket. And that's one of the things that made us dope. And then we introduced Looney Coleon on my Exorcist album. And then I introduced T-Nutty on my Vengeance Is Mine album. I introduced Blizzo and them on my Initiation in My City of Kings project. So, like, I just been, you know, putting the homies in positions every chance I got, no matter what, because I feel like that's what you're supposed to do. And we just dope. We some of the...
Yeah, y'all got some spitters up there.
Yes,
you know, before we go, I got to ask you this, man. So you come on, get all the stuff.
Yeah.
How do you hook up with Tech Nine?
Oh, man. So, like, I got this really bad habit that I probably won't be able to break, man. It's an unfortunate thing. But I like to take Brother Lynch's fades. That's my brother, you know what I mean? So if somebody got an issue with Lynch, it's likely that I'm not going to be okay about that. And so Lynch and Tech Nine bumped heads a little bit over something, and there was a song that was circulating, and people who speculate was about Lynch. And I felt like Lynch and Tech's business was their business, so I didn't want to get in that. But when the other niggas started chiming in and having pom-poms and shit, it pissed me off. So I just kind of just was like, I don't know, all these other niggas, I said I felt like them two could work the issue out, and they deserve that right to do that. And being who they are to each other. But the rest of you niggas with your pom-poms, I'm not never fucking with you niggas again. And Tech kind of commented on that post, like, I much respect for that. We'll see each other out there, man. Much love. And so I had a little hustle going, and I was able to grab a bag for Lynch. And I was like, hey, you can go to KC. We got this bag. They got a chance to give me a bag. We're going to go. So we went out to KC to do a show. And I'm at Lowe's, and my phone started blowing up from the ground. This little crip nigga start calling. Hey, cuz, blah, blah, blah. This nigga want to talk to you. Like, who? You Tech Nine. This nigga, you going to the barbecue? I was like, what barbecue? They like the homies having a barbecue. Tech is asking if you coming, because if you come, he go pull up. So I'm like, you got these young niggas out here having a barbecue, hoping that they asking Tech about to show up. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, is that somewhere Tech would have wanted to be? Because there's some probability that, like, I might show up with city to city, the young Keyway homies be pulling up. They be like, nigga, come on, I'll be with them. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they do it, they take me up, they don't take me down. So, you know, it'll be the young Keyway nigga with the cars and a little bit of money, and he moving around, and we doing it like this, and he'll bring niggas up with us. You know what I mean? Instead of making me go down. But I'll go down into some brains, into some guts, and we'll kick it for a minute and dip out, but it's always happening the right way. Just enough to give a salute. You know what I mean? So me and Let's go. Finally agreeing, it's the little homie Triz. I trust Triz. That's my little brother. I asked her, what's up? Can I do? Triz like, man, where you eating at? I'm like, I'll tell him, I'm looking at these places. He say, all right, I say, I'm going to pick this one. He say, I'll be there in 15 minutes. Tech will be there at 30. I'm like, cool. We go around the corner. We doing us. We in the restaurant. And then sure enough, Triz walked through the door. And then boom, this nigga Tech walked through the door. I FaceTime Lynch and let them talk briefly. I told Lynch we was going, but, you know, Lynch is going to do it. Lynch has hit a stage where if there ain't a real reason, this nigga's not going over nowhere. Lynch is real Lynch. I respect that. Like, I'm with these babies now, I'm a homebody, so I understood it. I FaceTimed them, no. We broke bread. Great conversation. Tech, go dip off to the bathroom. We all talked, and then he could walk back up and handed me a phone, and he was driving so grand. He was like, man, what you doing Monday? I was like, because I was supposed to be on a plane like Saturday or Sunday. I was like, shit, I ain't doing nothing Monday. What's happening? And he was like, come pull up on me, man. It's 1 o'clock. I want to have a meet with you on Monday. I'm like, okay, cool. That's June 14th for 2021. So I got all this weekend to do whatever. Just is always hung out with the KC Keyway homies, my nigga Tate Diggs, 12th Street, a few of them. We hung out, ran around the city a little bit. And then come Monday, like me and Tech this Saturday, me and Tech invited all of us to Jack Stack. So we have a dinner with like 15 people. And I get this nigga Lynch, come on, nigga. And Lynch pull up, and they sat down and had a convo. And that was their first convo since Lynch had really left Strange Music, where the two of them sat down and we ate some barbecue, broke bread. Lynch's son came, who was my nephew, you know, young Yates. He's a savage beast. This why $8 sign, and he and Monster, he's on the collab album. But he came, this nigga wanted to meet Brother Lynch on the X-Rated. So he came, you know, and that was dope, but we broke bread. And so Tech came to Vegas, same thing, we kicked it and shit. You know, I got him the plug at the Aria. It was just a dope-ass weekend. And then he finally was like, man, I got this song I want you to hear. And he sent me the song. I'm like, I think the song is dope. He was like, let me hear it. He said, do you. Let me hear what you got. Do you. I was like, all right. So I go in there, I'll do my thing, it turned into Still Right Here. And he was like, yeah, we got one. That motherfucker ran up a couple million streams. Video did very well. And then Tech was like, hey, man, my partner coming to Vegas. He's like, he got a couple things to do, but that nigga's there to see you. He was like, he there to see you, bro. He's there to see you. He said, so tell him what you need, tell him what your vision is, and then let me know. And then we gonna move. He was like, I need you with me. I was like, cool. And then sure enough, Trav came to town. He came to my office. He came to my building, met with my business partners in Las Vegas. And they discussed plans and shit like that. And then they sent the contract over. So
it was quick.
I think the whole process took from June to March, from June of 21 to March of 22. And then I got my chain and got the announcement on the stage at Red Rocks, like where Michael Jackson and the Beatles performed for, you know what I mean, in front of 10,000 people.
That's
It was
dope.
a dope experience. Coming from all that.
Yeah, them dudes probably got the most impressive setup ever. You ever seen Strangeland?
No.
That shit was crazy.
I'm gonna need you to. We gonna have to correct that.
Yeah, you got to go out there and see that shit.
I toured Strange. I toured the Strange Universe, and we spent 4 hours accessing each level of what is essentially like a college campus dedicated to music creation, to content creation. Not even, you know what I mean? It's at 4 hours, and we still didn't see it all in that trip.
Gas station.
It's a car wash. We got our own car wash, and then there's Strange Music, which is our headquarters, and then you got Strange Land, which is the creative department. Then you got Strange World, which is where the merch is made. Then you got Strange Works, which is a construction company, really. And then you have Strange Box, which is like a toy box, and that's where all the cars are. And, you know, it's just a beautiful situation.
Here's some crazy shit, man. Tech, you know what's funny? Is I met Tech when he was, my boy Mario used to work for Quest Records. Tech was signed to Quest. And QB Creek was messing with him. And that's when I first heard Psycho Big. So he became, my boy Mario, shout out to my homeboy Mario Eiht. He was doing some work for Quest. And he kept telling me, man, because I'm originally from the Midwest. He used to tell me, man, it's a dude from Kansas City. He used to always confuse Cleveland and Kansas City. And I used to be like, man, Kansas City is Kansas City. My nigga, Cleveland is Cleveland. Leaning on in each other's face like that. But he'll let me hear the Cycles Big saw. And I was like, this dude is mean as hell, man. Crazy, got flow, right? So he took me to a show when Tech first started Strange. And this how shit grow. It was about maybe, they had a show at the House of Blues, and there was maybe 70 people there.
Yeah.
This is like at the beginning. Scattered Man, the Snug Brim was there, and it's like the beginning. But when I tell you, they rocked all 70 of them motherfuckers. Like 70 people in that motherfucker, all the thing. I was like, this dude got something, man. You can tell it was the beginning of it. And he did the same circuit. Next year he came to House of Blues, and I would go to every show. They would let me and I kick it with him, Chris California, and all of them. It was bigger. It was a lot bigger. The House of Blues was full. Next time he came, it was too big for the House of Blues. He had to have the Key Club. And this nigga had trial. Like, remember the Key Club hold like 3,000-4,000 people up in that motherfucker? It's wall to wall. Yeah. And I'm like, this nigga really did. And I saw them go for being in them vans.
He currently still does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that nigga still does that. Yeah, it's dope to see it. I love, man, you know, me and Crook had this conversation. He was like, I love to see a black man win, you know, making some money.
It was inspirational as a motherfucker.
Seeing Tech do it, like, man, I think it's just dope as fuck that it was him, you know, and Travis is a sad. Trav don't fuck around. Trav is one of the smartest motherfuckers I ever met in my life.
And it was hard, too, because I tell you, I knew about Tech's situation. When Tech got off of Strange, he had a thing with you, not with the homie Sway and Tech. Mm-hmm. Had something going on with them. So it was a lot of little stuff that he had to go clear up. Yeah. Quest was still talking about they was owing some money before they technically ain't released them yet. So Trav, when they cleared all this up, and I saw the play that they ran, and Trav, you could tell he was committed because he kept like, fuck it. Now I'm already in. Yeah. And I saw, but you saw it bubble though, man. And it's the most impressive shit I've probably ever seen in my life, dog.
That's dope. Yeah, I could tell you that the energy is beautiful, and I think it's accurate in terms of it being some of the most impressive shit in my life. As somebody who has unfettered access to every level of it, I could tell you for sure that it's real, you know? Like, it's the capabilities of that machine. It's nice. It's like being a quarterback. It's like being a player getting drafted to a team that's already ready to go. And you like, oh, I don't.
You got merch and stuff over there?
Yeah, my merch, everything. I do everything.
Hey, just imagine you being able to walk up to your label and go into this building, and they doing all the shit that you got up in your head, and they just doing it, and then you go over there and you see a whole bunch of fans with your rap on it that you about to go on tour, and you go hit 50 cities. Am I exaggerating?
Nah,
it's just super cracking, dog, and I ain't never seen nothing like it.
We got an entire street that's just strange logos as you drive down that motherfucking Victoria. It's just.
I bet you that tripped you out when you first.
When I first saw it, I thought it tripped me out in a positive way, like a kid in a candy store type of shit. Like, I know what to do, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know what to do with this. And Check told me, he was like, nigga, anything you can imagine, challenge him, challenge the team, and see. I bet you that he watched. And I started
look big budget too, man. You ain't got no janky looking video. Your videos look like they all over there doing something.
The video department don't fuck around about me, man. That's the creative department. Strangeland itself is a dope place, and there's some dope ass dudes in there, and they've been really good to me, man. I got great relationships with the people that are responsible for doing the creative work. Those are my best relationships at Strange.
You know, I've been trying
the videographers, those are my people.
I've been trying to go down there and sit with Trav, man, for a long time.
He's a very busy human.
Yeah.
I used to think I was busy. I really believed it. And then I met these niggas. I spent like during Super Bowl week, which is probably a hyper version of it, exaggerated version of it, but I spent Super Bowl 2 weeks, I think, and leading up to the Super Bowl with them. And that was the most exhausting shit ever. Them niggas move also. Militaristic. Bam, 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 bam. Phones just executive over here, and the camera guy. And we moved and made all that shit happen. I remember I sat on the couch and was like, damn. Then I was just like, man, let me just chill for a minute. I fall asleep. When I woke up, this nigga Tech is gone from the suite. He done went and did the show with 21 Savage and all this shit, and is walking back in the room, and he was like, man, don't kill me, X. I just couldn't wake you up. And I realized, like, sitting down and going to sleep that fast, I missed all that shit, and that's what I was there for. So the lesson I learned is ain't no sleeping. When we wake up in the morning, you get yourself ready, and it's on. To whatever time Travis said to be downstairs, we was downstairs, and we moved. And then when that night is done, you got to wash your face, brush your teeth, and go to sleep. And then get up in the morning. If there ain't no playing on your phone, tell me to catch up on my social media. Them 2-3 hours you weren't to sleep, we up again in the morning, you do it again the next day, you 6 hours, you got a 6.5 hour sleep deficit. Pass out for 45 minutes, and you just missed a great majority of the things we here to do. You know what I mean? So I learned, like, I got to stay within, run the plays the coach called, and when the pro, if they went to sleep, you go to sleep. And if they ain't sleep, you ain't sleep. And it taught me what busy was and what busy wasn't. Them niggas busy. They busy. They still managed to come through like everything that I've ever needed. Both of them come through. If I call, they go, hey, I can't talk right now. They answer the phone and tell me they can't talk. If I say I need something done for them, they get it done. Like, they don't fuck around.
And is this your second or third album over there?
This is my second album, but it don't really matter because I'm gonna do all kind of shit over there. It don't matter. The 55th album, whatever it is, it's up. Like, we pushing.
Well, you got to keep pushing shit. That's all.
That's hard, man. I know you in town, man, and you hit a lot of people, man. Hopefully we get you a different experience, man.
Oh, I anticipated that. I was on the way here. I was like, some of this other shit was work. This about to be chilling with our folks. This is different. The same thing with Big Court, you know.
Go shout it. I'm in Big Court, man. That's my guy right there. You know what, man? Fuck it. I ain't gonna tell him. We talk about them plays after work, man, because there's a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
You know, they be here hustling.
Yeah.
About to do this. They taking a little hater notes.
Taking their notes.
They're saying made a 40 with some shit. They
done push shit through.
They got the resources. They going, hey, this when you saw the nigga Steele say, throw your wireless play.
Niggas will run your play.
You'll take that idea like a mother.
Spygate is a real thing.
Oh, like Spygate?
Spygate like a motherfucker. So, and make sure I got this right, man. August 23rd, 2024.
Yes.
You do the drum roll, man.
Yeah. Here it comes. Ascend in Heaven will be dropping. I'm from 24th Street. X is the 24th letter in the alphabet. I did 24 years before I knew I was coming home. And then coming home 2 years later. 2400 is midnight in military time. I got 24 songs on the album. And that's kind of what I'm on. We pushing that. And Ascend in Heaven is about all of the different stages, the mistakes, errors that I've made since I came home, the right decisions, and how it worked out. This is the story of my sin in heaven from top to bottom. And it's I feel like in the legacy of West Coast hip hop where it belongs, it fits. It fits. It belongs there. It's a slapper for us, man. I'm proud. I hope I do you justice. I hope you gonna hear it and feel like it belongs
and make you feel like it do.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. I did that.
I know it is, man. I can't wait to bang it, man.
Yeah, it's slap, man. I'm happy. You know, coming off all this shit that I did with Tech, the Joyner Lucas Conway thing, for Rakim to post my shit, you know what I mean? For my conversations with Corrupt, my nigga C-Mob, like, it's a dope thing to be able to stand up to that level. What's required of you to be that dope, especially now everybody ain't still dope. Don't you know we went crazy when you came in on Mad City? Don't you know what that did to us? You know what I mean? When you hit them with the G of, know that.
When that came on, keep some of that authenticity, man. That's all. That's all we got to do.
That's how I want people to feel when they hear this album, the way I felt that I heard it pop up on Mad City. I need them to feel it. It's really good. I'm proud of it.
You know, because you've been dropping some classic shit, man. Man, you just, you know what? You did some shit for Rakim.
Yeah, man, I did. Yeah, Rakim and Method Man. And, you know, it's Rakim and Method Man. I was like, oh, nah.
That's really, you on there with some real rap.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I think I'm like, I'm on behalf of the West Coast. So every line, I always know lines. First round, overall draft pick, I was chosen. I roll with a circle of ominous men. Call us the Omen. Ozzy Osbourne biting heads off bats. It's Black Magic Killer Cypher on a Saturday. Call out a Black Sabbath. What? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I've been barring shit the fuck up. I've really been barring shit up. I've been doing shit Kendrick with respect. Nigga, Eminem got to respect. I want y'all to respect it. I want the game to respect it. And I want my motherfucking spot right where I belong. You know what I mean? The NWA, here we come, boom, above the law. I'm just most wanted, nigga. Ice Cube and Maple X-rated, nigga. Then Death Row, Brother Lynch, nigga.
I got a tour coming up to support this.
Yeah, we gonna do it. I've been hostile with my nose. Travis O'Glenn is the Bill Belichick of this independent shit. He's the reigning coach of the year, several championship trophies, all of that type of shit. And Tech is Tom Brady. And so I'm listening. I'm getting in a machine that has produced successful championships. And to me, I want to run the plays that they think are the best plays. I don't got time to make little homie mistakes. I don't got time to do little homie shit. So my nose game is strong. I'm Matrix Neo with the nose, nigga. My nose is savage. So as a result of my nose being savage, they got to pay me very well for my yeses. If I'm leaving my babies at home, I want to be compensated like I belong in the area I belong. I want to perform in an area that is deserving of one of us. And I'm going to say, no, I don't give a fuck. If I don't like the venue, it's out. If I don't like the bag, it's out. If I don't like the beat, it's out. Because I don't got time. I don't have time to do it the other way. And it's disrespectful to a Rakim. It's disrespectful to Tech and Travis. It's disrespectful to Joyner Lucas and Conway to be associated with this energy. And then I go do some little nigga shit. They're like, what you up here for then? You can't confuse them. I'm like, we on Mount Olympus. Right. They talk about they Rushmores. We on Mount Olympus. And you can go off that thing and come back up and it start getting confusing. Do you go up here or are you down there? And I don't want to walk down Mount Olympus, no man. I want to hang out up there and throw lightning bolts at motherfuckers. Nigga, shut up, nigga. And just stay up there. So that's what I'm doing. Mount Olympus. It's Rakim's up there. It's MC Eiht's up there. It's Dr. Dre's up there. I like Mount Olympus. You know what I mean?
That's real shit. So we try to get up there with you.
For sure.
Come on. Got some shit, man. But you know what? We appreciate you coming to sit down with us, big dog.
Man.
Yeah, all day. Yeah, all day, man.
It's an honor, man. I love y'all niggas, man. I love our conversations. I love your contribution to the culture. It matters to me. My internal hip-hop kid is a very happy guy right now. The blue tape. Nigga, was you active? Was you outside when the blue tape was cracking?
You better be.
You better been. You better been. And if you was, then you know what the blue tape was about. It was activated. It was activated.
One of my nigga Eiht would say, Gia,
Chill. Nigga.
So let's take this flick real quick.
It's official.
Gangster Chronicles, we gon' tell you how it goes.
If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth.
Gangster Chronicles, this is not your average show.